How's it going today? How's your day been so far?
Yeah, good man. Good. It's 9 p.m. here, so I'm just chilling, getting ready for bed and getting ready for tomorrow and stuff.
Anything big going on tomorrow?
No, not really, man. I just got work. Just got work. What about you? What are you up to for t the rest of today?
Preparing my week, and I'm also back to work tomorrow too.
Yeah, right. Oh, so is it Sunday there today where
No,
you
no,
are?
no, no. It's Monday. It's Monday. But I what I do, it's shift work. I work for the London Underground, the Tube network. So
Oh,
we're on, but shifts here and there. So I'm back in tomorrow.
that sounds kind of cool.
It's well, yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years, so for me, it's just a job. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I recognize that. Yeah, okay, right. You work for the Tube station supervisor. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It can be. It can be. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
what about you? What do you do if you don't mind me asking?
I work in allied health, so I work with like physios and OTs and speech pathologists and
Oh,
things like that.
cool. Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That must be quite rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't do it for the pay, that's for sure.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, yeah, of course, as well, the fact, you have a full-time job while also being in a band, talking about
Yeah,
pay and money, it's not like music can give you a living these days.
yeah, absolutely, man. It is definitely a fine line. Definitely gotta have yeah.
Passion, that's what
It's
you need.
that's it.
Well,
That's it.
how has 2023 been treating Sunbleached as a whole so far, would you say?
Yeah, really good, man. Really good. We obviously released some tracks at the end of last year. We
Hmm.
released another one in Feb. We were supposed to play with Being as an Ocean, but they had personal sort of stuff going on, and they ended up cancelling the tour. Um, but yeah, we played They Just Gone, Movement in Boston Manor,
Mm.
and that was pretty cool. Movements are a big influence for us, and like I don't know, they've released some very good music. Very cool moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's a
yeah,
good
it's
show.
going
Yeah.
good. We got a new song coming out. Yeah. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. Great turnout. Like we played first, obviously,
Mm.
and yeah, there was a good turnout for us, which isn't always the case. Sometimes when you're playing first, there's not many, but yeah, there was heaps, so that was cool. Yeah, we got a new track coming out. Not next. Wait, yeah, next week. It's next week. Yeah, so that's cool. That song's called Closer. So yeah, it'll be cool.
The last one from the new EP, Delicate Places We Hide, because it's out in what, well, less than 2 weeks now, 24th of March.
Yeah,
Um, Overall, then, where are your heads
yeah,
at with it right now? Because obviously, releasing of the singles, the long build, are we kind of just like desperate to get it out, even though they're all individually going to be out as singles, having them all in that nice package and just available there?
yeah. Look, I think when we decided to single them all out, we didn't quite realize how much of a commitment that was going to be. That's
Mm.
6 months of committing to a release campaign. It's definitely it's been rewarding, and like the reception so far has been great. But yeah, it's definitely a very a very long and drawn out process. It'll be good to have it all out, and it'll be in a different order too than what we've released them in. We've released them pretty much in reverse order.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, so it'll be cool.
what was your vision originally behind like the release of the singles in particular? Because of course, as you say, we go back to late last year, September, November, that kind of time for Spinning Around and Toy Friend. Them both coming out quite early on. Then we kind of big gap up until February. Did you say 6 months ago? What was your original plan?
Well, the original plan was to get onto it all a bit sooner than what we had, like
Right.
releasing them. But obviously, like I got COVID at the start of last year, and my voice didn't recover, and for 2 months, so that put us behind recording schedule for
Oh,
2 whole months. And then the guy that was producing it, Tristan Higginson, he's from Waxflower. He went on tour with Trophy Eyes, so that also sort of put us behind a little bit. And then yeah, so we ended up just sort of getting to a little bit later in the year, and our PR agent sort of said, "You guys might be better off doing 2 tracks this year, giving it room to breathe throughout Christmas and New Year's, and then coming back into it strong at the start of next year." So yeah, we sort of just took that advice, and we were like, "Yep, yeah, I
cool.
think no, you go."
Yeah, it's great advice, really, because it makes a lot of sense to me. Particularly, I mean, my God, 2 months to have to recover your voice from COVID. That's incredible. That's a kind of roadblock that, well, it can be long-term damaging. So the fact that you've even been able to get to this stage is more than exciting in itself. And it always feels like there's this general positive feeling towards Sunbleached, particularly when you look at the reactions to the singles that have been released in the build to this EP. Do you feel that that's kind of helped get you guys in a better and stronger mental state, that reaction?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I definitely remember. It was sort of around the 1 month after, and we went to track some vocals, and I got maybe 15 minutes in, and I started losing my voice, and that just
Really?
seemed to be what was happening. And yeah, so we gave it a couple more weeks, and then I did my voice warm ups and stuff like that, and yeah, it didn't work out heaps good, and then gave it a couple more weeks, and yeah, it sort of felt a bit better, and yeah, we went in and we finished it off. Um, yeah, people. Sorry, that wasn't really what you asked.
Oh, no, that's great.
Uh, yeah, really, it is good when people are saying positive things about something that you create. Yeah, we're really stoked with that, and that is what is helping us, keep going for sure. Yeah, that and getting cool shows like Movements and being as an ocean, even though it didn't happen, but even just being considered for opportunities like that is a blessing, really.
Yeah, I get your thinking there, because even though it didn't go ahead, the fact that you were considered, the fact you were going to be on it is incredibly positive, and you have to think and hope that if and when that does reignite itself, then you would of course be the first choice to come back on that, provided it works out nicely for you as well.
Yeah, potentially, for sure. I don't even I think that their tour schedule's like booked out until a year and a half from now, so I don't
Right.
think I'm coming back till yeah, next year at least, at the latest. Wait, at the earliest.
Yeah, but you'll still be around, so that's fine. For those who
That's true.
maybe are, yeah, for those that are coming, maybe who haven't heard any singers, right? And Delicate Places We Hide is the first thing that they discover about Sunbleach, however it might be. Do you think the EP overall and all the tracks on it, the 4 tracks on it, encapsulate Sunbleached, who you guys are in 2023?
Definitely, definitely. So I guess when we were writing, so myself, Bradley, and Zane did majority of the writing on this. They're not here because
Mm,
Zane works nights and Bradley works early starts in the morning, so he had to be
right.
asleep. Yeah, when we were writing this EP, we basically just wanted to do like all the four songs all tie in together really well, but they are all sort of different sort of moods, not moods, but I don't know, different sort of vibes, different, I don't know. We just wanted to give a showcase of what we can do. Yeah, I think that it does encapsulate what the direction that we're moving towards for sure.
Well, everything you say there makes a lot of sense to me. The different tones that you might experience in the four tracks, while it is all very much tied together, it's not like you're going from here's a super soft ballad to here's something that is pure and utter black and death metal, and it's that much of a juxtaposition. But it's there are, as you say, variations and a showcase, I guess, of who you are.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Well,
definitely,
that
yeah,
brings me
intentional for sure.
Well, that brings me to kind of the bigger question of all, which is who are Sunbleached? And what I mean by that, right, is that you started in 2020, a mere
Yeah.
3 years ago, and during one of the most disruptive periods in life, to put it mildly. And I
Oh God.
guess the question is, where did the drive? Because that's the kind of start that would kill and drop most bands dead. But so where did the drive to make this band a thing come from?
Um, I guess lots of our sort of, so we started this project really
Mm.
about 2 years before we ever released anything. It was just unfortunate that you know, COVID happened as we released. We literally released that that first single 90, and then I think 2 months later or a month later even it was announced by WHO as like a pandemic and all this stuff. And then it really got into full swing around March. But yeah, we just sort of been trying to do it for a really long time, and I don't know. We had a lot of people around us that were really supporting us and telling us that we should do it, and we've had that as well. We've had a lot of support locally,
Mm.
um, for sure, and that's sort of what's kept us going, I think.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to harp too much on about the past few years, but unfortunately, it is such a defining moment, not just for humanity, but in the music industry as well, of how much it changed. And
Oh yeah.
obviously, it was quite well known in across the world that Australia, where you are, Brisbane, am I right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that Australia had some very, very up and down rules and laws and what you could and couldn't do, constantly back and forth, perhaps compared to the rest of the world. How did you guys cope with that aspect of things?
It was pretty bad, to be honest. It definitely was very demotivating. So like for
Mm.
example, as a band that's in its third year, um, Thursday night was our eighth show ever.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's the eighth show, sorry, that we've played as a band. And that's not for lack of trying. I think we've been on about 15 bills, maybe,
Hmm.
and just with random lockdowns and things like that, shows just get cancelled or people get scared about. Well, not scared, but they don't want to buy tickets just in case it gets cancelled
Hmm.
or whatever. It definitely feels like it's coming good now, for sure. Like obviously, there's international acts are coming back.
Of
There's
course.
some turnout to shows now as well, which is really good. So like even when we did sort of go back, um, it was probably at half half. I think maybe a year ago, half the amount of people would be coming out to shows. Um, yeah, I don't
Well,
know if I answered your question
well, let's
or
look at
not.
the positives, really. Congratulations on making 8.
Thank you, and yeah, we'll definitely be doing more for sure. Uh, Definitely.
Absolutely. Outside, pushing COVID and lockdowns to the side, the last
Yeah,
3 years then for Sunbleached, what have been some of the more challenging aspects you've faced to get to where you are now, and what did it take to overcome them?
challenging. I mean, to be honest, we've been pretty blessed as far as like opportunities have come. Without the whole COVID stuff, ruining everything. Um, we played our third show, I think. So a a long-time friend of mine, Daniel Laurie, who plays in a band called Pride. You might have heard of them.
Mm.
They released a killer full length. It was either last year or the end of 2021 or something like that. But it's called Light Bends. He just hit me up on Facebook and said, "Hey man, do you want to support us at our Brisbane show?" And that, I guess, that kind of put us on the map a little bit, because then directly after that, a guy by the name of Ash Hull hit us up and said that he wanted us to open for Void of Vision and Holding Absence. And then after that, Ash wanted, sort of said, "Hey, I want to be a booking agent." And we've kind of just, had good shows ever since then. That there hasn't, other than COVID, there hasn't been, massive hurdles to overcome, which is great,
Yeah, it's that great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it definitely went the best it possibly could off the back of COVID, for sure.
Okay, on the flip side of that, then, to date, then, what has been the most exciting part of what you were doing in Sunbleached?
Well, releasing this EP is definitely a big bucket list moment for us, releasing a body of work that, we've worked really hard to put together and put a lot of thought in, all of the release campaign and everything like that. And then also, obviously, playing Movements was massive, absolutely massive. Yeah, there's a bit of a full circle moment there, no pun intended. Um, yeah, yeah, that's massive, massive.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. How do you guys then, as a group, because unless there's one person individually who does it, how do you guys handle the modern challenges of being in a band? And what I mean by that is the always online, staring at your streaming numbers and trying to understand algorithms to get your content out there. The reminding everyone that Sunbleached exists. Do you think you're good at it? And do you enjoy that aspect?
Oh, I think we're not too bad at it. I think I'm pretty good at it. Well, I'm all right at it. There's always room to improve with that sort of stuff. It is a bit, overbearing sometimes, like you can't just, put a song out and it gets into people's ears anymore. I don't even know if that was a thing before streaming services and before social media takeover, but yeah, I don't know. It has its positives and its negatives. I quite enjoy it. It's
Okay.
kind of, being a little bit strategic with things, and yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy it. That is actually rare to hear. That question when gets thrown about a wide array of bands and artists from many different eras, age groups, and so on, often still results in the same thing. It's a necessary evil for
Yeah.
most.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, yeah, a few of the guys in the band aren't too fond of it, um, but I don't mind it, and that's how I view it. Is that it's part of the game. You got to do it.
It's no different than having to try and find a way to physically sell your album, EP, whatever, in a shop in compared to trying to sell it online. But the challenge of that, balanced with personal lives, is often where people fall down. Is that an aspect you think you've got a good handle on, the balance of your personal life and the band life?
Yeah, yeah. I think I do have a pretty good balance there. I'm in a pretty unique position where I work that I can sort of, if I need to make a post at a certain time, or if I need to leave early from work one day to play a show or whatever, or if I even needed to, go on tour and take a couple of weeks off, my boss, I could just tell my boss, and they're like, "Yeah, that's fine." So, I'm kind of fortunate that I'm in a position like that. Um, yeah,
What do you think it's going to take to push Sunbleached out of Australia? So while the scene in Australia is incredible, it has immense number of bands, young up and coming bands that across the entire country that are getting a lot of radio airplay, noticeable around the world. It is still quite difficult. It always feels like there's a semi-glass ceiling, and to punch through that takes something quite special to get out to an international audience. What do you think it's going to take for Sunbleached to do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I do know what you mean, though. I guess just reaching out to people such as yourself, really that helps spread word, to other countries. I I may be signing to a record label as well, having staff that are able to put things in people's ears in different countries and get pushed that way. Other than that, I think it's just a matter of grinding it out.
I think you're 100% right there. I think grinding out time is a major aspect of it as well, growth, and it still feels like there's plenty of time to go there.
Yeah.
So then what does the rest of 2023 look like for you at the moment? Bear in mind, we're 3 months in. We have March 24th, the release of the EP. Do you have any other plans that you can talk about or share?
We're always writing music. We've always got a big backlog of music, so we'll probably work on a couple of releases for later this year, maybe. But other than that, we're just going to probably focus on getting out of Brisbane and, touring Australia and stuff like that. I'd say that would be the main goal, really.
Yes, and that is an incredible goal. I think it still takes people by surprise when they don't pay too much attention to Australia, because the idea of going, well, look, we're going to try and spend the year touring and getting around our own country. And if you're in somewhere like the UK, you're like, well, you can do that in a week, you can do that in a few days. But that's not quite the case with Australia.
And it's expensive now too. Hey, you either take a couple of days off to drive somewhere, and fuel's expensive as here, or you spend $600-700 to fly somewhere and then fly back. But
Yes.
we'll make it work. We'll make it work for sure.
Well, if you want Sunbleached to come to your city, pick up the EP, pick up the music, pick up merch and stuff, and that way help you pay for your fuel costs.
That's it. Yeah. We've got to print merch first. We're terribly slack with it.
Plenty of time for that. It's all go. Right, we reached the part of the interview, the end part, where we pull out 10 random questions pulled from hundreds that could have serious, silly, or something in between questions, and how you respond to them is entirely up to you. These are completely randomized, so we're going to throw them at you if you're all right.
All right. Yep.
All right. Funny enough, the first one is actually quite a serious one. What is one thing you would change, if you could, in the music industry for the better?
Removing merch cuts from venues.
Hot topic right now. Are you kidding me?
I know. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we haven't printed merch in a while, is we only really print merch for shows, and if venues are going to take a cut, it doesn't feel quite right. They're not.
No, it is incredible. It's incredible. The most recent development in this country was Igor have refused to sell merch in one of London, a place called the Forum in London, a venue I've been to countless times. Yeah, because of that exact thing. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
it's
pretty shocking.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really know what the answer is right now. Like, does it stop dead, or does that mean things cost more in another aspect? I don't know.
Or do Do bands get a cut of the bar, or
Mm.
I don't see that happening. But yeah, I'm not sure. It never used to really be a thing in Australia, and just over the last maybe year, I've noticed it popping up. So weird.
Yeah, I think one of the aspects of it that's really been a surprise is how little people actually knew this thing existed, and then I find out it existed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's bizarre. It's just a very greedy sort of thing, isn't it? Really.
Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, right. Next one. Next one. Little bit more simple. Steak. How do you like it? Or if you're vegetarian, a replacement that you would recommend.
Um, I like it rare. I just ask for it rare. It usually comes out medium. Um, I don't know whether I like rare or if I just, you know, I order rare because it does come out medium. Maybe I like medium. It's either
But
rare or
you
medium.
but you pay, yeah, you order medium and then it keeps going up a level. So you order
Yeah.
medium and it starts coming out medium well done and so on.
Yeah, yeah. What about you?
Not a steak eater. Well, I'm not a vegetarian. I don't eat much in the way of meat. But if I say was forced to have one, it would be. Hold on. Apologies. Oh, for goodness sake. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
No
can hear
worries.
you.
Apologies. A phone call is connected to my Zoom and it switched everything over. I quickly cancelled it, so we're okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, as I was saying, while I wouldn't choose to eat one, if I had to eat one, it would be well done because I'm and that always causes a reaction. But yeah, I wouldn't choose to eat a steak, put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, okay, we're playing Monopoly. Have you ever? Well, I guess I should say, have you ever played Monopoly, the board game?
Yeah, yeah. I don't play it
Right. Yeah.
because it's not fun for people to play it with me.
Okay. Right. Well, that makes the question then. We're playing Monopoly. What is your first purchase on the board? What are you aiming for?
Um, I buy anything that I land on.
It's one of those.
That's how I play it. My sort of goal is to just own as much on the board as possible, so that I'm always taking in money. Yeah,
Very good.
it's not fun. I feel like Monopoly and Catan and games that involve like trade and things like that, they bring out the worst in me.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. What is a movie someone would be surprised to know that you love?
Hmm. Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of based on a persona more than anything else.
Oh, gee. I don't know. I love a lot of Larry Clark films. They're a bit
Okay.
messed up. Uh, but that whole like '90s aesthetic and like some of the
Mm.
statements made, even though I don't know if he's sort of a bit of a creep. I think I'm not sure.
Mm.
But some of those movies are very good, like Kids and Ken Park, and yeah.
All right. All right. Back to Sunbleached question then. Considering you've only had 8 shows, does Sunbleached have any pre-show rituals at the moment? And if so, what are they?
Um, no, no, I don't think so. I just sort of stress out a lot and get real nervous. That's kind of my
Okay.
ritual. um, yeah, that's my ritual. The other
Not an
guys are pretty
advisable
good though.
one.
They're not showing it if they are nervous. That's for sure.
Okay. Not an advisable ritual if it's the case, but time will change that. And if we come back to this a couple of years down the line and you're proper experienced and you've got so many shows in your belt, I reckon there might be some then.
Yeah, yeah, I think you might be right. It seems to get less and less with the more shows that we play, so
Oh,
you might
good.
be
I'm
onto
glad. I'm
something
glad.
there.
Okay, what's the last thing you do before you go to sleep at night?
Last thing I do before I go to sleep at night. Um, I guess I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth, have a drink of water. I don't know. Kiss my partner and tell her I love her. Yeah, that's it. I think I tell my partner I love her. That's yeah, that'd be it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Sticking with the nighttime theme, you're being chased by Freddy Krueger, the star of your
Oh,
Nightmare on Elm Street movies, in your dreams. What does
yeah.
your specific nightmare look like?
It. I don't know what it. I know what it looks like, but I know more what it feels like. It feels like my ankles are wobbly, and I
Hmm.
can't. That's whenever I have those sort of like chasing dreams or I'm being chased, that's what happens. My ankles don't work and I can't run.
Have you ever considered having deeper have you looked into had a deeper analysis? Because dreams, obviously, there's a lot of work surrounding them and all that. You can put it down to just nonsense and based off how you feel during the day, or there's something bigger there.
Yeah, I've thought about it for sure. I just haven't ever done it.
Hmm.
I should. I should. Might be something interesting going on there in my psyche.
Yeah, that's it. Unpack that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. A genie appears and grants you 3 wishes. What are those 3 wishes?
Um, yeah. Just wish for happiness, not to die of cancer. I don't know, a lawn that doesn't ever need to be mowed. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
very ambitious start to a very unambitious bottom.
yeah. Yeah, I lost it on the third one. I didn't know what to do. Mm.
That's it. That's why these questions are there. Those are the sort of
What?
ones you have to think long and hard about, but we don't really want you to think too long and hard about them.
I think no, a lawn that never needs to be mowed is good, you know? It gets
Yeah,
hot
yeah,
here in Australia, so do you guys have lawns in the
yeah,
UK?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Hmm. I
No,
always
I,
I think I just think of London and how it's like a city and you're all sort of in apartments and stuff.
of course, I am in one right now. I do not have a lawn. Well, I don't have a personal lawn, but yeah, gardens, lawns, they're completely the norm. Maybe not to the extent you would find in say Australia and America outside of cities. Like I mean, I guess in the cities, Sydney, places like that, it's going to be exactly the same apartment tower blocks and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm 10 minutes out of the city though, and
Really?
I've got a lawn. Yeah. Yeah, well, Brisbane is quite a small city, really, compared to
Mm.
like Sydney or Melbourne. Um, I'd say it's I'm not gonna guess how big it is comparatively. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
that might make me look a bit silly.
No, fair enough. We've got the penultimate one there. We're moving on. Netflix and chill. What are we, and e.g. me and you, chilling to right now?
What are we watching?
What are you watching?
What am I watching? Probably a comfort show like The Office, or yeah, The Office, maybe The Office, or
When we say The Office, do you mean UK or US?
I'm in US.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, I agree. I think I actually can't
I want to
stand the
say
UK
UK.
Office.
I want to say UK, but
Mm.
the US obviously it had a longer running time and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know. Ricky Gervais is quite good though. Although he's cancelled, isn't he? Well, he's not. You can't cancel Ricky.
No, I mean there was a bit of noise. I vaguely remember hearing noise a few months ago. But it's Ricky Gervais. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah,
you can't.
he's just saying provocative stuff, really, isn't he?
He's a comedian. This is what they
Yeah,
do. Sometimes
that's
it's got
it.
to be provocative.
Yeah.
Last one then, and it's Sunbleached related. What's a realistic goal you want to achieve this year with Sunbleached?
I want to do 2 laps of Australia. Yeah. I think
Totally
that's
realistic.
Yeah, that's realistic. Yeah.
I hope you can do that. I expect you will. And of course, first things first, 24th of March, new EP, Delicate Places, We Hide. Of course, you can go check some of the singles from that right now, like Toyland and more. On your Spotify, you name it, you're all over the place. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?